Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. It is January 2nd, Sunday. I'm doing lots of stuff on Sundays this time. Today's plan is to actually do some flooring because I'm not doing this the right way, and instead of putting my drywall compound up and sanding and taping and priming and painting before I do my floor, I'm going to do my floor now. So just a quick backstory. I was looking at the local big box Lowe's and Home Depot, and I couldn't find anything I really liked. I was using some virtual room visualizers when it came to figuring out what colors I thought might look all right in here. And the colors that they had in stock just weren't doing it for me. One of the colors is one that I have in my house. I have it on my living room and my bedroom floors, and I don't mind it in the house. But out here, I wanted something a little bit different. Now in the back, under the racing and flight rig, we have a Bellawood brown something or other. It was leftover stuff that a cousin of mine had after they did their kitchen, I think it was. It's been a bunch of years. So I still had a couple boxes of that like just laying out in the shed. So I just grabbed it, threw it down just to see what it would look like, and so I had something to put the tube machines on. Don't mind the brown, but using the red visualizer, I did find some tones that I liked a little bit better than what Lowe's and Home Depot had in stock. So I started looking around and I remembered there was a place called Lumber Liquidators, although now it is called LL Flooring near me. It's a little over a half hour away. I called them Thursday afternoon because I looked on their website, and based on footage calculators, it said I needed 22 cartons of this particular brand if that's what I wanted to go with, and I liked the way it looked. So using the room visualizer, it's early. So using the room visualizer, this is what the room is supposed to look like. I'll put a little picture in. That's kind of like the approximation of what it should look like when I'm done. And I didn't mind that at all. So I called down because the calculator says I needed, when you adjust for extras for waste and just to be on the safe side, 22 cartons. Well, that's all they said they had in stock was 22. So I called down Thursday evening. I spoke with Paul, and he says, yep, I have 22 cases. I'm like, great, I'll be down there first thing in the morning. He even said, I'll reserve it for you so it won't go anywhere. Got down there first thing Friday morning because Friday I was supposed to work. So got down there bright and early at 9 o'clock, got up and loaded, was out of there within like 5-10 minutes. It was really nice. And race back here. I get back here with 10 minutes to spare before work, log into work only for them to tell me, hey, you're not on the schedule today, because they changed me and didn't tell me. So that was awesome. Did mean I have an entire Friday to myself to do, well, nothing really, because I kind of killed the tone of me. I had actually intended to work all day, and then, well, okay, I guess I can start cleaning a little bit. So you'll notice, like behind me, it's a lot cleaner now than it was. I sorted out a lot of old stuff. I had a lot of old audio cables and S-video cables, some optical cables, a lot of this stuff that I kept around because, hey, you never know. Some of it was brand new monster cable in a package, but these days nobody cares. So I just, I sorted everything out. I kept the stuff that I needed to keep. I threw away the stuff I didn't. So now it's a lot more cleaner and opener because the less stuff you have to move, face it, the easier it gets. So this stuff down here, it's called Dream Home laminate flooring, Dream Home brand laminate flooring. It's a bronzed Brazilian Acacia or something like that, ACA-CIA. That's a lot of vowels in one short word. But it's here. So now this particular brand has a pad built in. I thought that was pretty slick. Normally you would use some sort of underlayment, but the cheap stuff, the plastic or little tiny foam strips, they really don't do a lot. And I know this from experience because the one spare bedroom I put foam in, or I put the regular plasticky stuff down, zero sound deadening at all. It's very hollow and echoey in there until you get anything in. You almost need to put carpet down on top of the floor just to kill some of the sound. My living room and my bedroom, though, I did use the foam stuff, and it's better, but it's still not great. So you would want something a little bit thicker, like a 2 or 3 mil. This stuff is a 2 millimeter foam backer on these things. But it did suggest Bellawood Platinum or Premium or Quiet Walk or any number of these things that was basically $50 to $100 per 100 square foot roll. The problem is, I have over 300 square feet. So either that means I have, you know, 1.5 feet of dead space on an end, or I buy 4 rolls and increase my budget a lot just for that one extra roll that's going to get used hardly at all. So I've decided to forego the laminate, no, the other stuff, the underlayment, in favor of this stuff having this on it. Now, it doesn't fix everything. One of the things with this pad attached stuff is the pad does not fully encompass the back of the plank. There are gaps around because obviously you need to have some flexibility when it comes to your joints. You can't put the stuff over the joint, for example, and then expect it to lock together. So it's a trade-off, but still certainly going to be better than just walking on plywood, and probably better than what I've put in the house even. So anyway, that's what we've got. Now the plan is to start in the corner by the door, right? And we're going to work our way down here. And then once we get down closer to these other ones, then we'll go ahead and rip this other flooring up once those are moved out of the way, and then go from there. So I guess put the camera down. I'm probably not going to do a lot of talking through this. I've got my arms set up over there, so I'm just going to throw my camera up there with like a time-lapse thing, and I guess we'll get to work. All right, so as you can see behind me, we've cleaned out a corner, a big corner. See, clean, 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 clean. So we've cleaned out a big corner of everything. Now, my brother's on his way up. He's about a half hour away, I think. So I'm kind of waiting until he gets here to do the rest of it. It'll just go a little bit faster with two people, plus it's always nice to hang out with your brother. Yep, that's basically the plan. Is we're gonna start in this corner over here, and we're gonna work our way down to, you know, doorway-ish. And then once we get to that doorway, obviously we're gonna keep staggering back until we've got enough room filled in over here. And the nice part is we should be able to, I'm looking at this, let me turn the camera around. Okay, so we're gonna start here. That's a towel for wiping my feet off because I was wearing my other sandals, which are basically sponges. So we're gonna start here and we're gonna work our way down this way. That's fine. But we'll also be able to work this way. And since since this desk is a floating desk, we can actually keep going that way. So as we go this way, we can also go this way. The theory being, if we come all the way back here, so when we get down about here, we should have a pretty good swath over there. And then once that's done, we can go ahead and start sliding the rigs down into position to get them out of our way to finish off the rest of the flooring. Now, obviously that Bellawood stuff, again, has to come up. I was smart when I put it in thinking that it was going to look kind of neat just to see what it looked like. And then I was even smarter when I put the drywall over top of the edges of it. So, even though it's not fixed down or anything, we are going to have to pretty much break a piece out in the middle and then just pull everything away. That's the easy part. That's what the vacuum's for, is vacuuming up all the dust. So right now I'm just gonna relax, chill out, listen to some music, maybe throw on some Game of Thrones. I'm rewatching it for like the 9th time, because why not? Ran out of other stuff to watch. So anyway, we're gonna chill out until he gets here, and then we'll I'm just gonna throw the camera up on the mount and run it as a time lapse. So when he gets here, we'll start knocking some of this flooring out, we'll start getting everything in place, and see how this looks at the end. So we'll be back when we're done. we're done. Pretty much done. The only thing I don't have any trim around the edges or anything like that, but as you can see, we have a full floor, wall to wall, end to end, in Brazilian bronze Brazilian Acacia, or whatever the heck it's called. And there we go. So let me turn the camera around real quick because I want to show a couple things. So first, here is the floor. So two things I want to do. One is I want to compare this picture with a picture that I had taken on the virtual visualizer thing. So we'll kind of pause and we'll take a picture of that and send that in here. Now the floor in here is a bit dusty because obviously we just finished doing everything and it hasn't really been swept off or anything. But the other thing that is going on with this floor is the tone. So what it looks like to me, to the naked eye, I think looks a lot different than the camera is showing. But there's two things for that. One, this is under warm white lighting as far as that goes. So let me turn this back around and I want to show you one more time. This is the warm white setting on my lights. And this is the same view under cool white lighting. Now it might not look different to you on camera. I can promise you it is a big difference in person. So it really doesn't look good on the camera. I'm looking at the screen. That's why I suck at focusing, because I'm always looking here, not here. My bad. But with the cool white lighting on the lights, the floor loses a lot of the richness as far as the tone goes. And I was expecting that. When I was looking at different shades and different colors and patterns and things to go for, wow. One of the things that I had come across was how people had mentioned that when you're looking at samples of flooring in big box stores, you're looking under their regular incandescent lights and that's it. But when you get it home and you put it in your sunroom or whatever, and the sun comes up in the morning, it's going to look a certain way. When the sun's going down in the afternoon and you hit like golden hour, it's going to have a whole different flavor, a different tone, a richness to it. And then if you have different lighting, it can also affect it. So I was really expecting that in here. I did not expect really such a marked difference between the cool white lighting tone and what the richness is that the warm light brings out. So that was kind of neat. So I'm going to find myself a happy balance because I really do like the richness of the floor under the warm white lighting. But I'm also not a big fan of like overly warm light when I'm working. So I need to find a good balance there. Everything else went really smooth though. The wall itself, everything went nice and easy. When you have long square or rectangular rooms, it does make things a lot easier. Plus, there wasn't anything I had to notch out for. And then, you know, with the floating desk, you can get underneath it without having to worry about, you know, moving anything or lifting or anything. So really all we had to do was, when my brother got here, we had the shelves over here in the corner. And then all we had to do was, we started here. We really didn't get as much of a triangle built up as we thought we were going to. But what we did is we got down here a little ways, and then we went out like 4, 5, 6, I think, rows, and then we just slid the flight sim back, finished that off, put it back, and then we just took the racing sim and just kind of rolled that right behind it, right? So we were tandem. And then we finished off the rest of the floor. The final ends, they were, you know, they had to be ripped down to about 4.5, 5.5 inches, depending on where it was. It was really average about 4 3/4 inches from end to end. We were a lot more square than we expected to be in here, to be honest with you, especially with the way the walls have been. But we just ripped them all down. It's only 7 boards long, so it wasn't like it took forever. And then that was it. We treated ourselves to some Brooks barbecue chicken when we got done. And because the weather had turned from just wet and gloomy to sleeting and freezing rain, he left not too long ago to get home before the weather gets really bad. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the day. There's really not much else to say. The floor is down, the floor is in. I'd like to get a couple, like an area rug over here for the desk side. I need to get like a Swiffer or something so I can, you know, sweep up all the dust in here, because it's amazing how much that dust pulls in. It's kind of crazy how much it just settles and you just notice it. Might notice it a little less if I had like a tan colored floor like that board behind me. But I really like this flooring. It looks really well. Went down really easy, no major issues. There's one tiny little hiccup, and that wasn't anything of the flooring's fault. That was just a chip that we had made while trying to get one of the corner ends in, because there's not really an easy way to pull and tap on it when it's only a partial width. We did find a better way to do it later, and all I'm going to do is, it's just a small little strip of peel, so I'm just going to find some fill-in marker that they make for this stuff and just cover that up, and I'll never realize it's there. Other than that, we're done. Everything is mostly back in place. The sim rig is mostly together with the exception of I still have to like plug back in the wheel and whatnot. The flight rig works fine. Everything's plugged back in and working there, other than wonky controls for Flight Sim 2020. And the heater's working fine. So hopefully this will also help with the heating, because there won't be any cold air coming up from the floor. Now there wasn't a lot to start with anyway, but that extra layer, having the cushion under the flooring, plus anything that was open cracks is now covered under floor. So the floor should be absorbing a lot more of it. So that's cool. Anyway, that's it for Sunday. I don't know what my next project's going to be with it. Some point in time it's probably going to be the drywall mudding and taping, but not in a really big hurry. It's not like it has to get done right away. Everything else is mostly buttoned up, other than just the little cracks and things like that. So I guess it's just a matter of how ambitious I get at that point. Otherwise, pretty much done for now. So thank you all for watching. Have a good one.